For centuries, humanity looked up at the stars with hope. They believed they were not alone. They believed that somewhere in the galaxy, others would welcome them. When Earth finally discovered faster-than-light travel, the people were excited. After all the wars, pain, and division, the stars were a chance to start fresh. The Galactic Union was real. Over 100 alien species worked together in peace. Their technology was beyond anything humans had. Their ships moved through space, like magic. And when Earth first made contact, people cheered. At last, the galaxy would know who humans were. The United Earth Council chose a man named Ambassador Rylan Cross to speak for all of humanity. Wise and proud, he believed in peace. He believed that the galaxy would see the good in humans. He was wrong. The Council, Hall of the Galactic Union, floated above a red star in the Halax system. The building was massive, like a floating crystal mountain. Species from across the galaxy filled the chamber. Some had wings. Others were like living machines. All watched as Earth's small ship arrived. Rylan Cross stepped forward. He wore Earth's flag on his chest. Behind him, a small team of humans followed scientists, diplomats, and soldiers. He took a deep breath and spoke. "Greetings from Earth. We come in peace. We offer friendship, knowledge, and unity." There was silence, then laughter. A tall creature with silver skin and glowing eyes stood. It was High Speaker Valtor of the Solari Dominion, one of the oldest members of the Council. "You offer friendship," Valtor said with a smile, "from the planet that nearly destroyed itself in 2 world wars, from the species that burns its own world to build machines." Rylan stayed calm. "Yes, we made mistakes, but we've changed. We want to be better." More laughter. A creature with 6 eyes hissed. "You're still violent. Your soldiers carry weapons into a hall of peace." A spider-like alien clicked its legs. "You still test weapons in space. You are not ready." One by one, the members of the Council spoke. Some were angry. Others were afraid. Some just looked bored. Then Valtor gave the final word. "Earth is rejected. Humanity is denied entry to the Galactic Union. You are not welcome. Return to your dying planet." Rylan looked around. He saw only cold eyes and closed hearts. He gave a small bow and said, "We understand." He turned and walked away. Back on their ship, the team sat in silence. No one spoke. No one moved. Finally, a young officer said, "So, that's it? We go home." Rylan looked out the window at the stars. "No," he said, "we go forward." The ship returned to Earth 2 weeks later. The news spread fast. Humanity rejected. Earth denied. Some people cried, some were angry, but most were quiet. World leaders met in secret. Old enemies shook hands. Plans were made. Humanity would not beg. Humanity would not kneel. If the galaxy thought Earth was weak, then it would learn the truth. Far above the moon, a single figure watched from the shadows of a black ship. His name was Admiral Kale Torren, commander of Earth's secret defense program. He had seen everything, and he had waited long enough. He opened a secure channel. His voice was calm and cold. "Begin Project Legacy." Underground factories lit up across Earth. Old space stations were rebuilt. Huge machines rose from the dust. On Mars, a silent shipyard came alive. On Titan, engineers unlocked alien secrets. Humanity had been rejected. Now, it would build something new. Not for peace, not for war, but for survival. Years passed in silence. The galaxy moved on, believing Earth had accepted its place. Some even thought humans had given up. They were wrong, in the deep void of space. Beyond any known map, a massive ship powered up. Its armor was black as night. Its engines roared with fury. It had no flag, no name, except one, written on the hull in fire-red paint. Beyondici, Turand, deep inside. A voice whispered the words that would one day shake the stars if the galaxy turns. "It's back on humanity." ... double quotes. "Then humanity will become the storm." After the Galactic Union rejected Earth, humanity disappeared from the galaxy's attention. They believed humans had returned home in shame, but behind the silence, something powerful was rising. The leaders of Earth had made a secret promise: "We will never ask again. We will build our own place among the stars with fire and steel. This promise was called Project Legacy. In the dark shadows of the asteroid belt, factories came alive. These were hidden stations, long forgotten during the early space age. Now, they became the heart of a great machine. On the cold surface of Mars, red dust covered giant underground bunkers. These bunkers became home to new ship designs, forged from Earth's toughest metals mixed with alien alloys. Moon, a team of scientists, cracked the code of faster-than-light engines. They had secretly studied alien tech ever since the first contact. Now they made it even better. And on the far side of Pluto, hidden in the eternal night, the legacy shipyards were born. There, the first human warship was built not for defense, but for a message. Its name was written in glowing steel. EHS Vindicator. The Vindicator was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. It was not smooth and elegant like alien ships. It was not beautiful. It was brutal, built for war. Its armor was thick and layered. Its weapons were massive railguns, torpedoes that could pierce planetary shields, and a main cannon powered by a mini star core. It had no Windows-only armor. The crew inside trusted sensors and AI to guide them. It was powered by silence. And revenge, Admiral Kale Turan stood inside the ship's command bridge. The room was dark. Lights blinked slowly, casting shadows on the faces of his crew. They were young. All of them had trained in secret, chosen from every nation on Earth. Kale looked at them and spoke only once. "No one will give us peace, so we will take respect. We will become the storm they fear in their darkest dreams." Meanwhile, Earth began to train more soldiers. But these were not like the armies of the past. Children were raised in the legacy academies, trained to live in space, to fight in zero gravity, and to fly starships like extensions of their own bodies. They studied alien languages, tactics, weaknesses. They learned silence, patience, and precision. They swore one oath: we were rejected. We will not forget. We will not forgive. For 10 long years, the galaxy saw nothing from Earth. Some species said humans had gone extinct. Others said Earth had destroyed itself. Some even forgot the name human altogether. But deep in the void, Legacy Fleet was growing. Ship after ship, forged in secret. EHS Retribution, EHS Ghostfire, EHS Hammerfall, and many more. Each one stronger. Each one faster. Each one designed to fight entire fleets alone. They had no colors, no flags. Only a single mark burned into every hull. The legacy symbol, fire and steel. One day, an alien freighter passed too close to a dark sector X93. Its crew saw a strange shadow drifting across the stars. They called for help, thinking it was a pirate ship. No one answered. Later, a rescue ship found the freighter. The crew was still alive, but silent, shaking. All they said was, it wasn't a pirate. It was something else. A ghost, a machine of war. No emotion, only fire. They drew the mark in the dust. The galaxy began to whisper again. Humans might still be out there, but no one knew for sure. The Legacy Fleet did not speak. It did not send messages. It did not trade. It only watched and waited back on Earth. Admiral Kale stood on a quiet balcony, watching the stars. Beside him stood Captain Arya Wren, commander of the EHS Ghostfire. She asked, "When do we strike?" Kale didn't answer at first. Then he pointed to a startle, red and distant. "That is the Solari Dominion," he said. "They were the loudest in mocking us. They laughed when we asked for peace." He turned slowly, his eyes cold as steel. "We'll answer them first." The stars above Earth burned silently. The legacy was ready. The galaxy had turned its back. Now it would face the storm. Years passed. The galaxy forgot Earth. New alliances were formed. Trade expanded. Wars came and went. The name human was no longer spoken in the halls of the Galactic Union. To most species, Earth was just a failure-an old story of a race, too violent and too weak for the stars. But then, strange things started happening. A Siluri patrol ship, the Veltharn, vanished near the outer rim. No distress signal, no debris, no trace. At first, it was blamed on pirates or black holes. Then, it happened again. A science vessel disappeared near Sector X93. 3 more ships went dark in nearby regions. Its memory core was damaged, but a few seconds of video remained. The footage showed a dark shadow appearing from the void. A massive ship, black as night, no lights, no signal, no markings, except one. The legacy symbol, the ship, moved fast, too fast. The Solari vessel tried to fire, but it was too late. A single shot turned the cruiser into dust. The drone recorded only one sentence from the attackers for Earth. Panic spread in the Solari Dominion. Warships were sent to investigate. Only one returned. Its commander, bleeding and shaken, said just 5 words. They are not extinct anymore. The Galactic Union called an emergency meeting. Dozens of species gathered in the same hall where Earth was once rejected. High Speaker Valter, the same Solari who mocked humans years ago, stood before the council again. He showed the footage. Many council members were confused. Who are they? One asked. Valter's voice trembled. They are humans, but not like before. They are something else now. Rumors began to spread across the galaxy. A ghost ship destroyed an entire Solari base. A planet in the outer rim burned in silence. No warning, no survivors. A space station saw a black fleet drifting past. All systems failed. The ships did not fire. They only watched. One station captain said, "We tried to contact them. They said nothing, only stared." I felt like prey being watched by the hunter. Merchants began avoiding the dark sectors. Explorers refused missions near the rim. Even pirates spoke with fear in their voices. They called it the Legacy Fleet. Some called them ghosts. Others called them demons in steel. No one knew where they came from. No one knew what they wanted. But they all felt it. Humanity had returned. Meanwhile, in the ruins of a forgotten moon, a message appeared burned deep into stone with plasma. Fire dot, no camera, saw who left it. No ship was caught on sensor. The message was written in galactic standard. You denied our voice. You mocked our pain. Now we speak in fire. The legacy back on Earth now renamed Fortress Terra Admiral. Kale stood in the legacy command chamber. In front of him, a large hologram showed the entire galaxy. The red zones were places where the legacy fleet had struck. Next to him, Commander Arya Wren reviewed reports. Fear is spreading, she said. They're starting to realize we never gave up. Kale nodded. Good, but fear is not our goal. Arya looked confused. Then what is Kale's eyes burned with purpose, balance, respect, justice. He pointed at the core worlds of the Galactic Union. They built a galaxy without us. Now we'll show them the price of rejection. Ships received upgrades. AI systems grew smarter, faster. Deadlier. Children born in the legacy academies had now grown. They had never seen Earth's old weakness. They had never begged for approval. They were born for this moment. They were the new face of humanity, cold, calculated, unstoppable. In the galaxy's quiet corners, some alien leaders watched with worry. A few wondered, should we speak to them? But it was too late for peace talks. Humanity had already decided. They, passing near an old Solari mining colony, picked up a strange signal. It was not a distress call. It was music-old human music. A calm piano melody. Then, a voice. This world once laughed at Earth. Now, it watches its sky burn. The crew looked outside, far above the colony. A fleet of black ships hovered in silence. Then they fired. The colony vanished in white. The galaxy no longer laughed. Whispers of fear filled the space lanes. Entire systems went silent. Ships avoided dark sectors. The words Legacy Fleet were now spoken with fear, not disbelief. But what the galaxy did not know was that the legacy was not just a fleet of ships. It was a belief, a way of life, a new humanity on Fortress Terra, once called Earth. The skies were filled with black steel. Giant ships floated above cities. Thousands of factories ran day and night, building more war machines. The people had changed. No longer were they soft and divided. No longer did they look to aliens for approval. Now they looked to the stars with cold purpose. The children born after the rejection had never known the old Earth. They were raised under one banner, one law, one dream. Never again will humanity beg. Across Mars, Titan, Europa, and the moons of Jupiter, training grounds echoed with the sounds of soldiers marching. These were the students of the legacy. Academy's elite schools where young humans were trained to become the future. began before sunrise and ended long after the stars returned. They studied alien languages, battle tactics, starship design, and zero-gravity combat. They trained their minds to stay calm under pressure and their bodies to fight in any environment: space, ice, fire. Earth flag surrounded by flames and reborn in steel. Below it, one sentence was written in every language: "From rejection, we rise." At age 16, every student stood in front of that statue. They wore dark armor and carried their legacy weapons designed to be passed down generation to generation. There, in the cold silence, they spoke the ancient words: "I swear the iron oath. If peace is denied, I will bring war. If my people are forgotten, I will burn our name into the stars. If I fall, another will rise. We are fire, we are steel, we are legacy." This was not a simple promise. This was their life, inside his voice echoing through the dark hall. "Long ago, we asked to be part of the galaxy. They rejected us." He looked at their faces, sharp, ready. "We are no longer asking." He turned to a large star map. One star system blinked red. "The Solari Dominion will fall next." One of the commanders, Captain Lysera Kai, raised an eyebrow. "No warning." Kale shook his head. "They gave us no warning when they called us primitive apes. We returned the favor." As legacy ships prepared for war, the galaxy tried to respond. The Galactic Union sent messages: pleas for negotiation. Threats of retaliation: no. Answer: they tried sending diplomats. None returned. They even sent peace fleets to search for the legacy base. They found nothing, only floating wreckage, and one repeating message: "We are the storm you created." In the outer rim, a mining station picked up a strange signal. It was not a call for help. It was a child's voice, reciting something in perfect galactic standard. "We asked for peace. You gave us silence. We offered friendship. You gave us fear. Now we offer nothing, only legacy." Then the station went dark. The Solari Dominion, once proud and powerful, began to fall. One planet lost power, another lost its fleet. A third was turned to ash by a single ship, the EHS Hammerfall, which never even touched the ground. The attacks were fast, silent, and precise. They never targeted civilians, but they destroyed all military targets. Without mercy, the message was clear: this is justice, not revenge. In the Galactic Council, panic turned to desperation. "What do they want?" one alien leader cried. "Why won't they talk?" High Speaker Valtor, now older and weaker, answered with trembling hands. "They gave us a chance once. We threw it away." Back in Legacy territory, Captain Aria Wren stood before her new crew on the EHS Ghostfire. She was a living legend, known for wiping out 3 enemy fleets without losing a single soldier. She looked at her young pilots and said, "This galaxy only respects strength, so we will become strength itself." She held up her hand. The crew repeated the iron oath. Their voices echoed like thunder, and far beyond them, in the darkness between stars, another legacy fleet moved silently. Its ships were marked with a new symbol, a burning crown. Their mission was different. They were not going to destroy, they were going to send a message. The entire galaxy would never forget. The Solari Dominion was old. For 10,000 years, they ruled with pride. Their ships were sleek and silver. Their armies had never lost a full war. Their leaders walked with arrogance, believing they were untouchable. They were the first to laugh at humanity, the first to call Earth a savage world, the first to vote no in the Galactic Union, and now they were the first target. Admiral Kale Torin stood aboard the EHS Vindicator. Beside him, a hologram of the Solari home system glowed in red. "Operation Black Sun begins now," he said. 12 legacy warships received the order, each ship cloaked, itself in darkness, engines cold, weapons armed. These were not ordinary ships. They were weapons of silence, built to destroy from shadows, programmed to show the galaxy what happens when you spit on Earth. Shining planet with silver towers that reached the clouds. Orbital rings circled the skies, full of trade and life. No one expected an attack, not here, not ever. That night, a strange signal echoed through Solari space. It was a voice, human, calm, cold. "You took our peace, we take your pride." Then the sky caught fire. From the shadows of space, the legacy fleet arrived. No warnings, no demands, just war. EHS Vindicator opened first its Starcore cannon, fired a single shot. A Sillary battlecruiser exploded in one strike. EHS Ghostfire appeared next, tearing through satellite defenses in complete silence. EHS Hammerfall dropped from orbit like a meteor and fired its fusion lances directly into military command centers. In less than 5 minutes, every ship in orbit was gone. On the ground, Solari leaders screamed for help, but no help came. Every communication station had already been taken out. Every orbital defense platform was disabled. Every escape route blocked. This was not a battle, this was a message. Inside the council tower, High Speaker Voltor stared at the fire outside his window. He had mocked humans once, long ago. Now they had returned not with words, but with vengeance. A single drop pod landed in the council courtyard. Out stepped Captain Arya Wren, fully armored in black steel. She walked past guards who had already dropped their weapons. No one dared stop her. She entered the council chamber alone. Valtor stood, trying to look strong. "What do you want?" he asked, voice shaking. Arya placed a small device on the table. A hologram appeared. It showed Earth being rejected years ago. It showed the vote. It showed the laughter. She said only 2 words. "We remember." Then she turned and walked out. Behind her, the timer on the device started counting down. The Sillary council members panicked and screamed. But it was too late. The tower exploded in a wave of blue fire. Back in orbit, the Legacy fleet completed their mission. They left no warships, no weapon stations, no military base. Only civilians remained. The Solari Dominion had lost its entire government and army in 12 minutes. A few hours later, every Galactic Union channel was hijacked. The screen went black. Then a single feed appeared. It showed the burning capital of Valmorath from orbit. And then a voice. "You rejected us. You laughed at our pain. Now you watch your empire burn. This is not war. This is correction. We are legacy. We do not forget." The feed ended. The galaxy froze. No one knew what to do. Some species began preparing for war. Others begged for peace. Some started moving their capitals to safer zones. But one truth was clear. Humanity was not extinct. They were angry, and they were stronger than ever. Back in Legacy space, on Fortress Terra, celebrations were quiet. There were no parties, no cheering, only steel being forged, ships being repaired, soldiers reloading. The mission was done, but the war had just begun. Admiral Kale stood at a command table with Arya Wren beside him. He asked, "Did the message reach them?" She nodded, loud and clear. Kale's eyes scanned a new map. 10 more targets marked in red. "We will give them 10 reasons to never forget Earth again." A new ship launched that same day. Bigger, stronger, silent. Its name was written in glowing red letters. EHS Iron Memory on its side, a single phrase. "We offered peace. You chose fire." The destruction of the Sillary Dominion sent shockwaves through the galaxy. In just 12 minutes, one of the most powerful empires had fallen. No one had ever seen such a fast, silent, and brutal strike. The Galactic Union was shaken. Planets went into lockdown. Fleets were scrambled. Leaders gathered in secret chambers, voices filled with panic. And above everything else, one word echoed across every star system: humanity, in the Grand Council Hall of the Galactic Union. An emergency meeting was called. Species from every corner of the galaxy gathered, their faces pale, their nerves on edge. Ambassador Jaythorn, of the Valari Republic, stood first. "We thought the humans were weak," he said, voice trembling. "We were wrong." A giant insectoid from the Thrax Coalition hissed. "They did not even take the Sillari worlds. They only destroyed what mattered: government, military, pride. They don't want land, they want fear." A metallic being from the Zirkai Enclave clicked coldly. "They are sending a message. They do not want to join the galaxy anymore. They want to rewrite it." The room went silent. Then the oldest member, Grand Mind Heather Haluan, whispered the question on everyone's mind. "Are we next?" Some called for diplomacy. "We must speak with them," said the peaceful Dryary delegate. "They deserve a chance to talk." But others disagreed. "They gave no warning to the Sillari," shouted a representative of the Urin clans. "They are shadows, ghosts. They don't want peace. They want dominance. Arguments broke out. Voices rose. Fists slammed on tables. The council was falling apart. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, fear grew in every system. Trade ships refused to travel through dark sectors. Families abandoned outer colonies. Private planets built massive bunkers and shield domes. Children were told horror stories at night. Behave, or the legacy fleet will come. Pirate groups tried to act brave. One pirate fleet, Black Void Marauders, entered Sector X-93 to loot a derelict station. Only one ship returned. The captain was half mad. He kept repeating the same thing. No lights, no sound. Inside our ship, before we even saw them. Meanwhile, mercenaries from multiple species were hired to locate and destroy the legacy fleet. A team of elite bounty hunters, known as the Red Claws, claimed they had a plan. They tracked a signal to a dead system and entered the zone confidently. That was the last anyone ever heard from them. 3 days later, a wrecked cruiser drifted into a neutral spaceport, carved into its side in burning. Plasma letters were 2 words: keep watching. Inside legacy space, humanity watched all this unfold. They listened to every broadcast. They read every fearful message. They saw the galaxy panic, but they did not respond. Admiral Cale Torrens stood in a dark war room aboard the EHS Vindicator. Before him, a galactic map glowed softly, each system marked with fear, each fleet frozen in confusion. Captain Aria Wren joined him, eyes locked on the screen. "They're tearing themselves apart," she said. Cale nodded. "They called us animals. Now they act like prey." He pointed to the center of the map. "Capital of the Galactic Union, Altheria Prime," he said one word. Next. But not all humans agreed. Deep in a hidden station near Neptune, a group of old Earth scholars and diplomats met in secret. They had helped form the original delegation to the Galactic Union years ago now. They wondered, have we become the thing we feared? Some wanted to open talks with peaceful alien races. Others believed the time for peace was gone. One young diplomat, Lena Cross, granddaughter of the first Earth ambassador, stood up. She said, "If we destroy everything, we become the monsters they thought we were." The others listened, but in legacy space, voices like hers were rare. Back in the Galactic Union, some species tried to send peace signals. One planet, Tyler 3A, broadcast a message into deep space. To the legacy fleet, "We offer friendship. We made mistakes. We see that now." The message played for 3 days. Then it stopped. On the 4th day, a single package arrived in orbit above Tylor-3. Inside was a data crystal. It contained a message just for words. "You were not cruel." The planet was left unharmed. The galaxy was confused. Why was Tyler 3 spared, but the Solari were not? Was there a pattern? Was there a chance? The answer was whispered among soldiers and citizens. Maybe, if we are honest, maybe, if we show respect, maybe they are not monsters. Maybe they are just hurt. But time was running out. The legacy fleet was moving again. Spy satellites caught glimpses of new warships, ships with new shapes, faster, bigger, covered in dark red armor. Ships named EHS Judgment, EHS, Memory of Ash, EHS, Final Dawn, and something else, a massive ship unlike anything ever seen. Its size was terrifying. Its engines burned blue-black fire. Its name was simple. EHS Human Will. The galaxy held its breath. A cold silence had spread across the galaxy after the fall of the Solari Dominion. After the warnings and disappearances, after entire systems locked down in fear, one truth became clear. The legacy fleet was unstoppable. But no one truly knew what humanity wanted, until now. One bright morning on Altheria Prime, the capital of the Galactic Union, the sky darkened without warning. Sensors lit up, sirens screamed. A shadow spread across the upper atmosphere. Every orbital defense cannon turned toward it. Every fleet scrambled to intercept. Every leader was rushed to safety. And then it appeared. EHS Human Will, the largest human warship ever built. It hovered above the planet like a mountain in the sky, silent black, terrifying. Behind it, dozens of ships formed a spear formation. Ghostfire, Vindicator, Iron Memory, Final Dawn. It was not an invasion, it was a statement. In the council hall below, Panic filled the chamber. "They're here." Someone shouted, "There over the capital." High Speaker Zelnervar, now leader since Valtor's fall, stood pale and breathless. "Send the fleets. Defend the planet." But before any order could be completed, every screen in the chamber went black. Then a voice spoke, deep human, calm. "This is Admiral Cale Torren of the Legacy Fleet. We are not here to beg. We are not here to destroy. We are here to decide the future." A single dropship landed outside the Grand Council Hall. No weapons fired, no ships moved. The galaxy watched from the dropship stepped Captain Arya Wren, followed by a small team of armored humans. No army, no threats, just presence. The council guards froze. No one moved. Arya walked straight into the hall. The entire chamber stared in silence. She removed her helmet, revealing the face of a woman shaped by war, loss, and purpose. She stood in the center of the chamber and said, "You rejected humanity. You pushed us out. You called us savages. We survived. We adapted. We built a power you could not imagine. And now we offer you one final choice." Behind her, a device activated, projecting a 3D map of the galaxy. Red markers lit up Legacy operations across dozens of systems, entire empires, war fleets, pirate groups, all gone. "We could have burned your capital today. We didn't. We could have turned your fleets to ash. We won't. But we will never kneel again." She raised her voice. "You can choose to recognize Humanitine just as a member, but as an equal. As a leader, or we can leave and never return. You'll be free from us, but not from what comes next." The chamber was stunned. "You called us monsters. Now you must decide. Will you share the galaxy, or keep fighting shadows in the dark?" For a full minute, no one spoke. Then one voice broke the silence. A soft voice. A child. A small alien girl sitting in the audience gallery stood up and said, "My mother told me humans were bad. But you could have hurt us today. You didn't." She looked at Arya. "Are you angry? Or just lonely?" The room froze. Arya looked at the child, and for the first time, she smiled. That night, the council met in secret. Debates roared. Old hatreds clashed with new fears. Some said humanity had no place in the stars. Others said humanity had earned that place through fire and strength. But one thing was now clear. The humans didn't come to destroy, they came to be seen. The next morning, the council voted. It was not unanimous. Many still feared what humanity had become, but the majority voted yes. Earth no longer called Earth, but Fortress Terra was offered, not just a seat at the table, but the head of the Council of War and Defense. It was the first time a species had ever risen from rejection to leadership. On board the human will. Admiral Cale watched the result come through. He said nothing for a long time. Then he turned to Arya. "Prepare the message." She nodded. The galactic network lit up once more. Admiral Cale's face appeared calm, powerful. "We remember every insult, every laugh, every closed door. But we also remember our dreams, our hope, our wish to belong. We do not seek revenge anymore. We seek purpose." He paused. "The legacy is not about war. It is about never being ignored again." Across the stars, some wept, some cheered, some still feared, but all of them now knew. Humanity had been rejected, but it did not fall. It rose in fire. It forged steel from its pain. It built a legacy. Years passed, the galaxy had changed. Where once Earth was seen as weak and primitive, now it stood tall as one of the most powerful forces in the stars. The name Legacy Fleet was no longer spoken in fear, but with respect and sometimes even hope. The Galactic Union had accepted Fortress Terra not only as a member, but as a leader, yet humanity never forgot. Not the silence, not the laughter, not the rejection. And they never let the galaxy forget either. At the center of Fortress Terra, in the Hall of Iron Memory, a large steel monument stood tall. On it were two dates: the day Earth was rejected, the day Earth was rejected. Words carved deep in stone. From fire, we forged our name. From silence, we created thunder. We are humanity. We endure. Inside the Legacy Academies, the next generation trained harder than ever. But now, they were not raised with only anger or vengeance. They were raised with purpose, with vision. They learned not just how to fight, but how to build. not just how to strike but how to lead. One such student was relentless, a 16-year-old cadet born after the war. He had never known Earth's rejection. He had only heard the stories told in hushed voices, in cold training halls in front of glowing statues of steel. He asked his teacher one day, "Why did they hate us so much?" The answer was simple: because we refused to be quiet. Now it was time for a new era. In the shipyards above Mars, the largest project in human history was complete. A colony fleet, not for war, for exploration. Admiral Kale Turan, now and battle-scarred, stood before the newly trained fleet captains. He looked at them not as soldiers, but as pioneers. He said, "You were born in fire, but you do not have to live in it. You are not just legacy, you are the future." He handed a folded flag to each captain, a new symbol combining Earth's old blue, the legacy's black and red, and the Galactic Union's star crest, humanity reborn. Fire and Steel, with Hope Captain Rion Solas, now 20, stood at the helm of his first ship, EHS Pathfinder, around him. Hundreds of colony ships prepared to jump. People of every background, engineers, doctors, farmers, scholars, were ready to carry the name of humanity to new galaxies, not as beggars, not as conquerors, but as builders. A final message was broadcast across the galaxy. We were once ignored. Now we build worlds. We were once mocked. Now we lift others. Our legacy is not war, it is will, and our will is eternal. The colony fleet vanished into faster-than-light space. The stars opened. The next chapter began on Fortress Terra. Admiral Kale stood at a quiet balcony, watching the stars. Beside him stood Captain Arya Wren, now a legend known by every race. She asked, "Do you think they'll be ready?" Kale smiled. "They already are. They were born from the legacy, but they will write something better." She nodded. "The galaxy will remember." He looked up at the stars one last time and whispered, "Let them."